The ground beneath you feels less certain, doesn't it? A hidden tremor in your step, a subtle hesitation before you stand. This is not about aging. This is a signal from the very core of your being, a message your spirit sends through your body. It begins in the foundation. It begins in the legs. Most people will dismiss this. They will call it getting old, a simple, unavoidable decline. They will buy a new supplement, try a new exercise for a week, and then forget. But in doing so, they miss the profound truth. The weakening of the body is the physical manifestation of a weakened connection to our own life force. Ignoring this signal is not just about having weaker legs. It's about accepting a life of less stability, less clarity, and a quiet, creeping disconnection from your own power. This is not a video about a quick fix. This is an invitation to rebuild your foundation from the inside out. To understand, you must listen closely until the very end. Grounding force. We begin where all strength begins, with the earth, with our connection to it. Think of a great tree. Its power is not in its branches that reach for the sky, but in its roots that grasp the soil. The storms may come, the winds may howl, but the tree stands firm because its foundation is deep and unwavering. Your legs are your roots. They are your physical connection to this planet, to the stability that holds everything. When they weaken, it is a sign that our roots have become shallow. We are no longer drawing strength from the ground beneath us. Why does this happen? Look at our world. We live in the mind, in the clouds of digital information, in the anxieties of the future and the regrets of the past. We float. We are ungrounded. Our energy is pulled upwards, into our heads, into the constant noise of a world that demands our attention but offers no real stability. The first step to rebuilding is not to look up, but to look down, to feel your feet on the floor, to acknowledge the foundation you have neglected. This is a practice of awareness. Before we even speak of nourishment, we must speak of intention. When you walk, do you feel the ground? Or are you simply moving from one task to the next, your body a vehicle for a distracted mind? The journey back to strength begins with this simple yet profound shift in perspective, to walk with intention, to stand with presence, to feel the support that is always there for you beneath your feet. This feeling of being unmoored, of being disconnected, is the source of so much of our modern suffering. It creates a subtle, constant anxiety, a feeling of being unsafe, even in the most secure environments. Your body is telling you this. Your legs, in their subtle loss of power, are screaming a truth your mind has been too busy to hear. Come back to the earth, come back to your foundation. When we answer this call, everything changes. The way we stand, the way we walk, the way we move through the world becomes a form of meditation, a practice of stability. And so, the first form of nourishment we must seek is one that mirrors this principle. It must be something that grows deep within the earth, something that has to fight its way through the darkness and density of the soil to find its form. It must be humble, yet powerful. This is the energy we need to internalize. We are speaking of root vegetables, carrots, sweet potatoes, beets, parsnips. These are not glamorous foods. They are foods of the earth. They are dense with the energy of the ground. When you eat them, you are not just consuming vitamins and minerals. You are consuming the very quality of groundedness. You are taking the stability of the earth and making it a part of your cellular structure. This is not a metaphor. It is a tangible, physical process. The body is wise. It understands the language of nature far better than our conscious minds do. When you provide it with food that is literally a root, it understands the message. Build a stronger foundation. The preparation of these foods is also part of the practice. Do not rush it. Wash the soil from their skin. Feel the weight of them in your hand. As you chop, as you cook, maintain the awareness of what you are doing. You are preparing medicine for your foundation. You are engaging in a sacred act of rebuilding. The modern world wants everything fast, instant, and easy, but strength, true strength, is never fast. It is slow. It is deliberate. It is cultivated. By choosing to nourish your body with these humble roots, you are making a powerful statement. You are choosing stability over speed. You are choosing depth over superficiality. You are choosing to honor your foundation. This single choice, practiced consistently, will begin to send a new message through your entire being. A message of stability, of strength, and of a deep, quiet confidence that comes not from the ego, but from a true connection to the ground of your being. It is the first and most crucial step. Inner flow. Once the foundation is established, we must consider the life that moves through it. A tree with strong roots is only half the story. It also needs water, sap, the very essence of life to flow from those roots up through its trunk and out to its leaves. This is the principle of flow. In our bodies, this is our circulation, our blood, the lymphatic system. It is the river of life that carries nourishment to every cell and carries away waste. When this flow becomes stagnant, our muscles and tissues do not receive what they need. They become stiff, brittle, and weak. The legs, being the furthest from the heart and having to work against gravity, are often the first to show the signs of this stagnation. A feeling of heaviness, of being slow, of aching. This is the feeling of a river that has become a swamp. The energy is trapped. It is not moving. This physical stagnation is almost always a mirror of a mental and emotional stagnation. We become rigid in our thinking. We hold on to old beliefs, old hurts, old patterns of behavior. We resist change. We fear the unknown. Our minds become like a cluttered room with no space for new air, new light, new ideas to enter. This rigidity in the mind creates rigidity in the etheric body, which in turn creates rigidity and stagnation in the physical body. It is all connected. To restore flow to the legs, we must restore flow to our entire being. We must learn to become like water. Water is the most powerful element on earth, not because it is strong, but because it is adaptable. It can be soft and gentle, or it can be a crashing wave. It never fights an obstacle, it simply flows around it. This is the quality we must cultivate within ourselves, the ability to adapt, to be flexible, to let go of what no longer serves us. The practice here is one of movement and release, gentle flowing movements, not aggressive, forceful exercise, but movements that encourage the body to open up. Stretching, walking in nature, practices that coordinate breath with motion. The breath is the key to unlocking flow. When we are stressed or rigid, our breath is shallow and tight. When we are relaxed and open, our breath is deep and full. By consciously breathing into the tight spaces of our body, we can begin to dissolve the blockages. We can encourage the river of life to flow freely once more. This is a practice of letting go of physical tension, letting go of mental rigidity, letting go of emotional baggage. Each deep exhale is an opportunity to release something that is holding you back. This creates space, and in that space, strength can grow. The nourishment that supports this principle must be one that is full of life, full of the energy of water and sun. We are speaking of dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, chard, collard greens. Look at them. They are vibrant with life. They are essentially solidified sunlight and water. They are rich in the very minerals and chlorophyll that purify the blood and support healthy circulation. They are light, yet incredibly nutrient dense. When you consume them, you are consuming the principle of vitality. You are helping to cleanse the rivers of your body, to clear out the debris, and to restore the effortless flow of life force. Think of it as spring cleaning for your internal landscape. These foods help to alkalize the body, reducing the inflammation that contributes to stiffness and pain. They are the physical embodiment of flexibility and flow. Preparing them should be simple and quick, a gentle steam or a light sauté. We want to preserve their life force, not cook it away. By embracing these foods and the principle of flow they represent, you are inviting a new level of vitality into your life. You are choosing to be adaptable, to be fluid, to move through life's challenges with grace and ease, and this choice will be reflected in the newfound lightness and power in your legs. Resilient structure. With a firm foundation and a healthy flow, we now turn our attention to the structure itself, the framework that holds you upright. Your bones, your ligaments, your tendons, your muscles. This is your body's architecture. It needs to be not just strong, but resilient. Resilience is different from simple hardness. Something that is hard can be brittle. it shatters under pressure. Resilience is the ability to absorb pressure, to bend without breaking, and to return to your original form. This is the quality we see in bamboo. It is slender, it is light, but it can bend in the strongest winds and not snap. This is the kind of strength we want for our physical structure, a strength that is pliable, adaptable, and enduring. The weakening of our legs is often a weakening of this very structure. Our bones lose density, our connective tissues become weak, and our muscles lose their tone. We become more fragile. This physical fragility is a direct reflection of a lack of inner resilience. How do we respond to the pressures of life, to setbacks, to criticism, to failure? Do we shatter? Do we crumble under the weight of adversity? Or do we have the inner pliability to bend, to learn the lesson, and to stand back up, perhaps even stronger than before? The modern world places immense pressure on our inner structure. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to be perfect, the constant comparison on social media, the fear of missing out. These forces can wear down our spirit, making us feel brittle and exposed. Cultivating inner resilience is a critical practice for our time. It is the ability to maintain your inner peace, your inner structure, regardless of the external chaos. It is the understanding that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by your response to them. The practice for building resilience is one of positive stress. This is not the chronic, negative stress of worry and anxiety. This is deliberate, controlled pressure that challenges the system to adapt and grow stronger. For the body, this means resistance training. The act of lifting weight, of challenging your muscles, creates microscopic tears in the fibers. The body, in its infinite wisdom, does not just repair these tears. It overcompensates, building the muscle back stronger than before. This same principle applies to our bones. The impact and stress of weight-bearing exercise signal the body to increase bone density. We are telling our structure, you need to be stronger, and the body responds. This is a conversation. On the mental and emotional level, the practice is to consciously face small challenges, to step outside your comfort zone in small, manageable ways, to practice discipline when you feel lazy, to choose courage when you feel fear. Each time you do this, you strengthen your inner architecture. You prove to yourself that you can withstand pressure. The nourishment that supports this resilient structure must provide the literal building blocks for it. We are speaking of high-quality protein and the components that build strong connective tissue. For many, this could mean beans and lentils, which are packed with protein and fiber. Legumes are a humble yet powerful source of these building blocks. They require slow cooking, a patient preparation that in itself is a lesson in building something substantial. For others, it might be a well-sourced bone broth, which is rich in collagen, gelatin, and minerals, the very substances that make up our bones, ligaments, and tendons. Consuming these foods is like providing your body's construction crew with the highest quality materials. You are giving it the resources it needs to repair and reinforce your entire frame. You are not just eating food, you are rebuilding your house from the inside out. When you combine this conscious nourishment with the practice of positive stress, you cultivate a deep, unshakable resilience. Your legs and your entire being will learn to bend without breaking, to face the storms of life and to stand tall, not through rigidity, but through a flexible, enduring strength. Cleansing purity. Now that we have a grounded foundation, a fluid internal river, and a resilient structure, we must address the environment in which they exist. Imagine building the most beautiful house, but it is filled with clutter, dust, and waste. It cannot function properly. Its beauty is obscured. In our body, this clutter is inflammation, oxidative stress, and the accumulation of metabolic waste products. This is the internal noise that interferes with the clear signals of our body. It creates a state of chronic, low-grade agitation that drains our energy and contributes to the breakdown of tissues. Weakness in the legs, a feeling of achiness, and inflammation in the joints is often a sign of this internal pollution. The body is burdened. It is spending too much of its energy dealing with this static and not enough on repair and regeneration. This internal physical pollution is a mirror of the mental and spiritual pollution we are exposed to every day. The constant influx of negative news, the gossip, the cynical and divisive content we consume online, the mental junk food, this all creates a form of spiritual inflammation. It clutters our mind, agitates our spirit, and disconnects us from our inner stillness. It creates a state of reactivity where we are easily triggered, easily offended, easily thrown off our center. To achieve true strength, we must undertake a process of purification, both physically and mentally. We must clear out the clutter so that our true nature, our innate vitality, can shine through. We must create an inner environment of pristine clarity. The practice for this is one of subtraction, not addition. It is the discipline of conscious consumption. What information do you allow into your mind? What conversations do you participate in? What media do you consume? The practice is to intentionally curate your mental diet, to choose silence over noise, to choose uplifting and inspiring content over that which is degrading and divisive. This is not about hiding from the world, but about protecting your inner sanctuary so that you can engage with the world from a place of strength and clarity, not from a place of reactivity and agitation. Similarly, the physical practice is one of fasting and cleansing. This can be as simple as giving your digestive system a rest for a period of time, or consciously choosing to eliminate processed foods, sugars, and other inflammatory substances from your diet. It is about creating space. When the body is not constantly burdened with digesting heavy, complicated foods, it can turn its energy towards deep cleaning and repair. The nourishment that supports this principle of purity must be a powerful cleansing agent. It must be something that actively fights against the forces of decay and inflammation within the body. We are speaking of the vibrant, deeply colored world of berries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, strawberries. These small fruits are perhaps nature's most potent source of antioxidants. Antioxidants are the molecules that neutralize free radicals, the unstable compounds that cause oxidative stress and damage our cells. Think of them as the peacekeepers of your body, quelling the riots of inflammation. Their deep, rich colors, the blues, the purples, the reds, are a sign of their power. They are a concentration of protective compounds. Eating them is like sending in a highly specialized cleaning crew to purify your internal environment. They help to protect your blood vessels, your brain, and the delicate tissues of your joints. They are the physical embodiment of purity. They ask for nothing, they are simple, they are whole, and they offer immense protective power. By incorporating these cleansing foods and embracing the practice of conscious consumption, you lower the overall inflammatory burden on your system. You create a clean, clear, quiet internal space where your body can heal and your legs can regain their youthful, energetic power. Internal warmth. With a clean and pure inner environment, we can now tend to the very source of our energy, the inner fire. In many traditions, this is known as the digestive fire or the metabolic engine. It is the furnace at the core of our being that transforms the food we eat into the life force, the energy that animates our entire body. When this fire is strong, our digestion is efficient, our circulation is warm and robust, and we feel a sense of vitality and energy throughout the day. When this fire becomes weak, our digestion becomes sluggish, we feel cold, tired, and lethargic. This weakness often manifests in the extremities first. Cold hands, cold feet, and a feeling of dead weight or weakness in the legs. The fire is not strong enough to push its warmth and energy out to the periphery of the kingdom. The limbs are being neglected. This dwindling of the inner physical fire is often connected to a dwindling of our inner spiritual fire, our passion, our purpose, our enthusiasm for life. What is it that ignites your spirit? What gives you a reason to get out of bed in the morning with energy and joy? In a world that often encourages conformity and discourages authentic passion, it is easy for this inner fire to be dampened. We get caught in routines that do not nourish our soul. We do jobs that drain our spirit. We forget what it feels like to be truly alive and on fire with purpose. This spiritual coldness creates a physical coldness. The body, reflecting the state of the spirit, turns down its own thermostat. To rebuild the strength in our legs, we must reignite the furnace at our core. We must tend to both the physical and the spiritual flame. The practice for this is one of stoking the fire. Physically, this means activities that build heat in the body in a healthy way. Not the frantic, stressful heat of a panic, but the deep, penetrating heat of focused effort. Practices like sun salutations in yoga or vigorous rhythmic breathing exercises. These activities are designed to build internal heat, to stimulate the metabolic processes, and to get the energy moving from the core outwards. They are a way of telling the body, wake up, the fire needs tending. Spiritually, the practice is to reconnect with your passion. What did you love to do as a child before the world told you who you should be? What subject could you read about for hours? What activity makes you lose track of all time? It is a practice of giving yourself permission to feel joy, to feel enthusiasm. Even a few minutes a day dedicated to something that truly lights you up can begin to rekindle that inner flame. It sends a powerful signal to your entire being that life is worth living with energy and passion. The nourishment that supports this principle must be one that adds warmth and stimulates our internal fire. We are not just talking about the temperature of the food, but its energetic properties. We are speaking of the world of warming spices: ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, cayenne. These are not just flavorings, they are potent metabolic medicines. Ginger is a powerful digestive aid that warms the stomach and improves circulation. Turmeric is a phenomenal anti-inflammatory that also has warming properties. Cinnamon helps to regulate blood sugar, which is crucial for stable energy. Cayenne is a powerful circulatory stimulant that can literally push heat and blood flow out to the cold extremities. These spices are the kindling for your internal furnace. Adding them to your foods or drinking them as a tea is a direct way to stoke your metabolic fire. You are actively adding heat and stimulating energy production at the deepest level. When you combine this warming nourishment with the practices that build your physical and spiritual fire, you will begin to feel a new kind of energy rising from your core. It is a steady, reliable warmth that will permeate your entire body, bringing life and power back to your legs and a renewed passion into your heart. Essential simplicity. We arrive at the final principle, which in many ways is the synthesis of all the others. Essential simplicity. In our quest for strength, for health, for happiness, we are often led to believe that the answer is complex. We are sold complicated workout routines, expensive and exotic superfoods, and intricate life-hacking systems. The world profits from our belief that the solution must be something outside of ourselves, something we have to buy, something that is difficult to obtain. But the deepest truths are always the simplest. True strength does not come from complexity. It comes from a return to the essentials, a sturdy foundation, a clear flow, a resilient structure, a pure environment, and a warm inner fire. The path to achieving this is not through adding more and more, but through stripping away the non-essential. This hunger for complexity is a reflection of a mind that has lost its center. A mind that believes its own value is tied to how much it knows, how much it can acquire, how much it can manage. We create complexity in our lives because we are afraid of the silence and simplicity of our own being. We fill our calendars, our homes, and our minds with clutter to avoid the profound and sometimes intimidating task of simply being present. The weakening of our bodies, the weakening of our legs, is the ultimate result of a life that has become too complicated, too disconnected from the simple, natural rhythms of existence. The final step in this journey of rebuilding is to embrace the profound power of simplicity, to understand that less is often more. The practice is one of decluttering. Look at your life. What is truly essential? What people, what activities, what possessions truly nourish your spirit and support your well-being? What is just noise? The practice is to have the courage to let go of the non-essential, to simplify your schedule, to simplify your environment, to simplify your commitments. This creates an enormous amount of free energy. Energy that was previously being wasted on managing complexity can now be redirected towards healing, regeneration, and growth. This is the ultimate act of self-mastery, to know what is essential and to discard the rest. It is a path to a life of deep focus and profound peace. In simplicity, we find a strength that is calm, centered, and unwavering. The nourishment that reflects this principle must be the epitome of nutrient density and simplicity. It must be a food that contains within it a complete package of life, something that requires no complex preparation. We are speaking of nuts and seeds, a handful of almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, or chia seeds. Think of what they are. A seed holds the entire blueprint for a future tree or plant. It contains within its tiny form a perfect balance of healthy fats, proteins, fiber, vitamins, and minerals. It is a powerhouse of potential. It is life in its most concentrated and essential form. There is nothing to add and nothing to take away. They are the perfect food for supporting a life of essential simplicity. They provide the stable, slow-release energy needed to sustain a strong body and a calm mind. They provide the healthy fats that are crucial for our brain and nervous system, the very hardware of our awareness. By making these simple, perfect foods a part of your daily nourishment, you are constantly reminding your body of the principle of essential strength. You are choosing the simple, the whole, the complete. So we see, the journey to strengthening our legs is a journey to strengthening our entire life. It is not about a list of 6 magic foods. It is about embracing 6 essential principles: the grounding force of the earth, the inner flow of water, the resilient structure of bamboo, the cleansing purity of a clear sky, the internal warmth of a steady fire, and the essential simplicity of a single seed. The foods are merely the physical anchors for these principles. They are the tools you can use to communicate these deep truths to the wisdom of your body. The real work is in the awareness, the intention, and the practice. It is in choosing to build a life that is grounded, fluid, resilient, pure, warm, and simple. When you live in this way, the strength in your legs becomes an effortless reflection of the strength of your spirit. It is not something you have to strive for. It is simply what you are. This is the peace and the power that comes from aligning your physical life with the timeless truths of your own nature. It is the solid ground you have been searching for. Which of these 6 principles, grounding, flow, resilience, purity, warmth, or simplicity, do you feel your life is asking you to focus on the most right now? The answer reveals so much.